We've seen our fairy shrimp. Those are kind of the bigger invertebrates. By the way, it's not all about invertebrates. We'll talk more about the vertebrates as well. But the fairy shrimp, those big guys, there's some other big ones in there too. This one here is an isopod. Let's see if I can't get a good look at him, shall we? He looks a little bit like woodlice, our typical pill bug underneath a log in the middle of the woods or in your backyard. There he is. Isn't he cute? I've got him in a little bit limited amount of water in here. It's not as much as they would prefer, just to kind of restrict their movement a little bit so that I can't, so I don't lose him quite so easily. He's not used to crawling. I think he's more used to swimming. As he was sitting in the water over here, I watched him fan underneath his gills, must be underneath his body. Really, really cool animal, isopod. So, let's put him away. I went through this little, I just took up a scoop of mud. There were some animals I selected individually, but I took a scoop of the substrate in the vernal pool and I put it in this jar. I've been going through with this little eyedropper here and picking out some of the small stuff. So let's see if I can't have a steady enough hand to show you some of the little things that we've been seeing floating around in the vernal pool. So if you've seen some of the videos, you've seen a million things floating around. Here's a couple of them. Okay, I better set this down on something. See if I can't keep it steadier that way. Oh, there's one. So these tiny things swimming around in here. Let's see if we can't get a little bit closer. Part of it is I gave them too much water, and now they can run everywhere. There he goes. Oop, there's another one. Swimming back. It's hard to keep up with them. I like you better in this corner over here. Those are Daphnia. Daphnia are the really small, kind of round shaped, the little reddish ones there. Not the bright red one like this water mite here. There we go. That's better. I like the water mite better. He's a little bit easier to deal with. I don't know what that round thing that's flying around in the middle of there. A lot of this stuff we call zooplankton. It's living organisms that are kind of making the base of this food web. Vernal pools are interesting in that they do have algae growing in there. But a lot of this food web is based on detritus, right? The fallen leaves. So animals are eating the fallen leaves, and that's how energy moves up the food chain. Things like fairy shrimp are feeding on some of this zooplankton and algae as well. And then the bigger animals like this guy's really fun. Daphnia, boy, they're just flipping back and forth. They have these long, I think it's called flagella, but they flip them around. They look like a long antenna. He looks a lot like what you know as plankton from SpongeBob SquarePants. That's Daphnia. All right, let's see. This is getting a little dizzying here. I've got a couple more in here. Bear with me. Here we go. In here I have a midge. That's the red one that's squiggling. There he is. So there, now I've got a mosquito. Oh, the mosquito. There's the mosquito. Look at that mosquito larva hanging upside down. It usually puts this kind of siphon toward the top of the water column so it can breathe. And then it's a filter feeder. And it's feeding on things that it filters out of the water. And it'll pupate and then, of course, become that little mosquito that we're not so happy about. There's 60 different species of mosquitoes in Ohio, by the way. So it's not all the ones that are, not all of them are such pests. Here's a midge there. You see, I wonder if that's food moving through its gut. That's all that dark spot. But then I also have, where do you go? Oh, I have planaria in here too. Look at this guy, kind of like a sea slug of sorts. Boy, it's fun to watch. So we've got everything from the big stuff like that fairy shrimp, all the way down to that Daphnia there. And then this guy too, I really like him. We'll just get a little shout out to my little friend. This is I'll open the lid. It's good. I'm sorry. Here he is. Now can we see him? There he goes. So this is a water beetle. He's about the size of your pinky fingernail, and I'm told he packs a pretty good punch. Although now he's stirring up all this sediment in his container here. Really cool, amount of life here in the bottom of a vernal pool. A lot of it's invertebrate, and that's what we've seen right here with the fairy shrimp, the isopod, midges, mosquitoes, Daphnia, the really tiny stuff. Lots of really cool stuff going on in here, and I'll talk a little bit about vertebrates here in just a couple minutes.